Bingo. Welcome to the Octagon MMA podcast brought to you by Combat Sports UK. I'm Lewis Glover and I'm joined by the voice of Octagon MMA, Mr. Brian Lacey himself, fresh off a trip to Hanover.
Fresh is a very strong word, my friend. This
It's
this coffee, there's a lot resting on this coffee, buddy. All right, but nice to see you.
nice to see you as well. What's been going on this past weekend? Debut for
Oh my
Octagon in
God.
Hanover. Tell the people how it was. I mean, the German market as a whole, Octagon is absolutely dominating that at the moment, and maybe we can get into a little bit of some of those crazy numbers and TV deals and so on and so forth in a moment. But yeah, from Octagon to Frankfurt and more to come later on this year. How was it for the first time in Hanover? What was it like in the building? Did the fans come out in Hanover like they have in Dusseldorf and Frankfurt and everywhere else? Cologne.
It's another city where just I fall in love with Germany more each time. Every city is different. It's got a different vibe. And Hanover, you talk about selling out. We announced the Holzer Taha fight, that alone, off the back of the Ilbai Holzer one, and it sold out. 98% it was sold with just that fight. Now, obviously, the story of the card was we had a lot of fights come off, including that Holzer one. But I think the card we delivered, and especially when you look at some of the moments, the David Dvorak finish, Taha's comeback against of what I thought was a phenomenal performance there from Edgar Jimenez, and then other stars like Hugo Vac coming out. It was great, and the fans were fantastic. The arena as well, the Zetage Arena. Um, it's the true Colosseum. It's so tall. So you're literally even from the top, you're looking right into the cage. So yeah, I think they've already booked it again. Obviously, all eyes are on when Holzer will return because
Mhm.
that was very unfortunate. And you could see, I don't know if you saw the interview with Philip Harberger in the cage during the event, but Holzer was so sad that he wasn't able to deliver for the fans. It's the first time I've seen him, truly vulnerable. And he was there cheering on his mates, cornering the likes of Palakai Valid. But you could see in his eye and in his heart he wanted to be in that cage.
Yeah.
So we hope it's a speedy recovery. He's got a long way to go. There's lots of complications, but we hope he'll be ready for the start of next year.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean, things happen, fights fall off for whatever reasons, but Octagon seems to weather that storm better than anyone else. I know
That
behind the
wasn't a
scenes,
storm. That was a tsunami. That
tsunami,
Hanover
yeah,
card. Oh my God! I've got
sort
I've
of
got a list of.
cataclysmic events. But yeah, Octagon just seems to from the outside, and I'm sure I know it's not like that behind the scenes, but the ability to continue to matchmake and put on great fights with excellent performances that the fans feel like they've gotten their money's worth, even though that they've bought a ticket to go and see Holzer or, insert name here. But Octagon
Yeah.
just seems to have this unbelievable ability to just dig deep in its bag and find people to come on and seize the opportunity with both hands time and time again.
Yeah, so my dog's wanting to be on the podcast as well, and that's how famous
Bring
you
bring
are.
them on.
Yeah, yeah, but I think you're right, and I think if you look at the last 2 years, 3 years, you look at the level of fighter that come. You look at the explosion in Germany. People want to be in our cage now, and that is also another bonus. So with these big fights, and especially now we're uncovering huge, not just fighters but gyms like pools of talent.
Mhm.
That fight school Hanover is a huge facility, and all those fighters are hungry to get on the card. You had Griezmann who was eating pizza a week before, got the call to step in against Malapo, and it was his dream. He lost his first fight in Octagon, came out, put on a great performance. It was a tough loss again for him. But you look at that, and then you look at other fighters that are from that area. They know the card is coming, and they
Yeah.
don't want to hope that something falls off. But
But if it
he
does,
was
they'll be ready.
it does, if it does. And I'll give a shout out as well to Moritz Merton, who fought Hugo Vac. He stepped in on 48 hours' notice. He was brilliant at the start, came out, blitzed Vac, took his back. Vac was great, stuffed him, got him to the mat, and then did some heavy ground and pound. And in between, we were despondent on the broadcast because we wanted the second round because it was so good in the first.
Yeah.
But again, you look at even the level of care for the fighters that we deliver. The doctors were there. They went in just to check he was okay, and they did the test with the light to see how responsive the eyes were, and one pupil wasn't responding. So again, I'm not naming any or thinking of any even promotions, but we know that there's some promotions that don't
Sure.
have that level. And to see him come out in 48 hours notice, put on the performance he did in the first round, and then for us to have the facilities and also the level of care that pulled the fight before anything happened. Especially someone like that who steps in, does us a favor, does us
Yeah.
a solid by keeping back on the card, delivers in his performance. And we were sad we didn't get the second or potential third round, but again, fighter safety paramount, and for the doctors to catch that. That's
Yeah.
great, and there's an actual social media post where the doctor, our head medical official who's with us all around Germany, shows the picture of the eyes, and one pupil is small, one's big. There's no repercussions off the back of it, but to be cautious and to not cause any further damage and to investigate further before taking damage, the right call was to take him out. But I hope we see Moritz Merton back very soon. I hope that doesn't go unnoticed that he put on the performance and turned up and made weight for a fight 48 hours into the fight card starting.
100%. You always got to err on the caution with fighter safety, but he's come in, as you said, done the organization a solid on
A
short notice,
solid,
done
yeah,
everything in his power to deliver inside the cage, being pulled when I'm sure if you gave him the option, sat on the stool, he'd go, no, no, I'm still going to go with this. But
yeah,
now there's three more events coming up in Germany between now, or four if you include Frankfurt this weekend. But maybe let's give him some time to recover. But three more events coming up till January, and he's put himself on the map with the
yeah,
organization, with Andre, with Pavel, and they go, okay, we need some German fighters. Who we going to call? Let's get Moritz Merton on the phone and say, hey,
yeah.
it's your time. Let's see what you can
Your
do.
time, buddy. Yeah,
It's your time
hopefully.
on a full camp and see what happens. So yeah, absolutely. The German market's absolutely crushing. Congratulations on the broadcast deal with RTL as well. That's absolutely huge. And for those who maybe don't know RTL, monstrous broadcaster, and I believe just recently they acquired Sky Sports Deutschland as well. So I mean,
Yep.
we're talking about the broadcaster in Germany that carries Bundesliga, that carries NBA, that carries
Formula One,
NFL
everything.
for
Yeah,
everything, right? And
everything.
Octagon is now positioned alongside those other major sports, and I think it might have been Pavel who posted it on social media a few months ago. But in terms of like earned value on social media in Germany, Octagon is third, just behind the
Yeah.
NBA and the Bundesliga. I mean, to outstrip the NFL in Germany is a bloody impressive accomplishment. It's obscene.
It's mad. It's totally mad. It's totally mad. And RTL, they're so invested in what we are bringing, not just the production, the fights, the stories, but the sport as well. They see what's happening with it, and they've recognised that it's huge in Germany. It's become massive. Again, you look at Munich, we announced Jungwirth on the card, and then we announced Ayari versus Brito, which is, my God, what a fight that is. Then we announced Jungwirth will fight Stolzer,
Yeah.
and we are 50% sold out. And that is a card way down. And that's two fights announced. One fight to start with, and then two fights. And then you look at RTL, what they're doing in Cologne. So we are going to be on free to air TV. Not since the days of, the Klitschko's, those magical moments where the German flag dominated boxing, and those nights were free to air. Has combat sports been on a free to air channel? So we'll have two fights at the top of the card. Ekelin and Vosgröne, who's fighting twice in a couple
Yes.
of months. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. They will be on the free to air broadcast, and again, it's for us. And I always look at the UK market. We got Channel 4, but Channel 4 didn't really care. We literally were a box ticked.
Yeah.
We gave them content, we gave them stories, we gave them fantastic events, we gave them all this stuff, more than that we were contracted to, and they never recognised what we could be. They just wanted to say, "Oh, we've got MMA," and that was it. Whereas
Yeah.
RTL, they've put together a task force. They've got this Octagon task force, which is like I think 30 or 40 people to build the content, the social media, all the stuff that comes with it. They're investing and taking risks by putting us on free to air TV. They're putting us. We are announcing something big at one of the NFL games. We have already been announced during international football matches. We've had Ekelin turn up, be on the broadcast. That's what we need. That's what,
Yeah.
and not just us, but any promotion, any sports promotion. When you get a broadcast deal, you can think, "Oh, this channel looks great," but do they care? And
Yeah.
what we are finding out from RTL is they're willing to take risks. They're willing to go on the journey. We have the card last week, which lost the main event, and they rolled with it. They didn't, they weren't this thing like, well, we were expecting Holzer because they know how much of a draw he is. And the great thing is that they are learning the sport, but they're willing to invest as well, which I think is the magic ingredient.
100%. It's totally different having a partner who's equally invested with you rather than someone who's just like, yeah, you can use our platform to put it out. Now,
Yeah.
had you been a documentary series about some obese conjoined twins, Channel 4 would have gone all in on that. But yeah.
And I would have watched it.
Yeah. Now, before we dive into the fights, I just have one little concern to raise because we know that for every sort of action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. What I'm concerned about now with Octagon becoming huge in Germany is what it's going to do to your ego. Mr. Brian Lacey is going to become a bit of a celebrity strutting around Germany.
I want to let you know,
Are
mate.
you still going to want to talk to me next year?
Listen, mate. I'm not committing to it. I'm not committing to it. What I will say is, I went and tried one of the famous German Donners, and a guy tapped me on my shoulder, and I thought, oh, he's recognised me, and he just wanted to check if the seat was free next to me. But I'm sure at some stage I will be eating a Donner, and somebody will
You already
recognise me.
had
But
the phone out to yeah, we can get a
that's
selfie.
right. I
Where
had
should I sign? Where should I
the
sign?
silver Sharpie, mate. The silver Sharpie. That's what I had out and ready, and all he wanted to know was the seat next to me free. But I think for me, I'm more excited about what it's going to do for the fighters, and we're
Oh,
already seeing
100%.
that
Yeah.
it's. I mean, Vosgröne for a start. You look at one fight and then 100,000, 500,000 followers on Instagram. His life changed through one crazy moment. You look at the young fighters, even on the card coming up, and through Ekelin's mantra when he joined us. Now, remember, I did the first interview with him when he was one of the coaches for the Octagon Challenge, and he said, "Then all I want to do is help the sport be better than how I found it, leave it better than the way I
Yeah.
found it." He said, "I want to show fighters they need to do the social media. I want to, not stop us fighting in sports halls. I want us in arenas." He's delivered all of that. He has delivered alongside Octagon with what we've done with the platform, but also with his profile and his passion to do that. We've created it, and I think with RTL Plus, there's going to be so many opportunities for these fighters to be more than just men in a cage, women in a cage. Alina Delaslan, again, unique because she's two fights in, has fought in a stadium already, and is beautiful as well with the beast in the cage. But she is already being used for Netflix for the boxing that just happened at the weekend, for the promoting German sports outside of fighting, and also promoting female self defense on a wider scale. So you've got these opportunities that are coming, and I think if we can continue on the trajectory, if the broadcast deal can move to more free to air stuff, uh, then the people that will really benefit and the people that will suddenly get noticed and be able to make the money they deserve, not just from fighting but from sponsors and whatever they build themselves,
Yeah.
are the fighters, and that's the game changer.
100%. And let's turn to the main event this weekend at the Festhalle in Frankfurt. And the main event is the return of a German MMA legend. And 2 years after deciding to hang up his gloves, he it's not uncommon in combat sports. The fighters get the itch and they want to come back and go, you know what, I've actually still got a bit of juice left in the tank. But I have no doubt that in part, Weichel's decision to come back must be in some way connected to the growth of Octagon in Germany and seeing go, well, hold on a minute. I fought in, America, or I didn't get the opportunity to fight in these great arenas during my heyday, during my prime, when I was winning Bellator, when I was competing in M1 Global. Now he gets to headline in his, his hometown, essentially, at least where he's based his entire career out of, because of the platform that the Octagon has built and the likes of Ekelin and all these other guys. What have you heard from him and in terms of this comeback, and what are you expecting from him come Saturday night?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think he's watched what's happened. He's been cage side for
Yeah.
most of those moments. They're claiming a belt. Ekelin's walkouts, Koga in the stadium. And he's been retired this whole time. Retired, and he is a legend. You look at that record: 57 fights, something like 44 wins, I think, something along those
It's
lines.
stupid.
It's beaten some of the best. Magomed Hasbulaev, that's Habib's cousin, who is a beast and well known. He's fought in front of 25,000 people in Germany, where he claimed a lightweight title for M1 Global. He won the Bellator featherweight tournament, first guy ever to win that featherweight tournament. He's beaten Sol Rogers, Robert Whiteford, a list of names where you go, oh my God, this guy's serious. And the crazy thing is, he has never fought in Frankfurt
Yeah.
ever. And for him, I know that he laid those gloves down reluctantly. It's always a tough thing for a fighter to say I'm done. But what sometimes you need is that spark, that motivation, and for him to see what we've done, for him to be a pioneer. You listen to how Koga, Ekelin, Putz, Delista, Fedor Duric, Raul Lebaransky talk about this guy, and he is more than just a coach, more than a fighter. He is their inspiration. He is the shoulders in which they stand on. And for me, he deserves this moment. So I'm excited for him. I know he's been preparing hard. And again, it's one of those things where he's in the gym all the time and he's physically part of their camps, but it's very different,
Yeah.
being a sparring partner or a drilling partner to suddenly be the main event in Frankfurt. But from everything I've heard, he looks fantastic. Like he is physically, those 2 years might have done him a favor. Like
Yeah.
his body has
Rest
had the
up.
chance to recover. He's fighting, in his home city, which is massive. His family can come. This whole army of fans that follow MMA spirit that fill the Festhalle know how important he is to them, and I'm just so excited. I watched his fights when I was, in MMA, watching it on my own, trying to find footage anywhere, taking videotapes of people, passing them around, and all the stuff that you have to do to get your fix. And Vikel was one of the guys I saw um, fighting that. I remember meeting him, and he's so nice. And now being able to call one of his fights is. I'm going to be very selfish and say it's a big moment for me. Forget what he
That's all.
thinks.
Yeah, no, don't worry about him.
It's,
It's
it's so exciting for me. So yeah, I'm pleased and proud of him, and excited to see what he can do on Saturday.
Yeah, brilliant. And if he comes in, he looks good, he makes a statement. I'm not sure whether in his mind I'm sure he's not, but a lot of people could be thinking, oh yeah, it could be one and done. He's just taking this opportunity to fight in Frankfurt. Maybe we see him then retire in front of his home fans. But if he looks good, I'm sure he's got his eyes set on the upper echelons of the division. And now
Yeah,
the recently vacated belt with Black Panther going to the UFC for 145 and 155
yeah.
are wide open, and someone with a big name and a couple of big performances could throw himself right into the mix for what would be an unbelievable swan song to a very decorated and legendary career.
Yeah, I don't know if this has even been put out, but it is a multi-fight contract he signed.
Well, there we go.
So I don't know if anyone said that yet, because a lot of people are asking the questions about whether this will just be for
Yeah,
that moment. It's
not for
not
him.
not for him at all. And again, you've said it that we saw it this weekend with the featherweights on show and some of the performances that came out there, knowing that belt is vacant, and some of the comments made at the press conference and even in the post-fight interviews. Same with the lightweight division. It's wide open now. It is wide open, and it's sad when you lose someone like Keita, because he's been such a big part and he creates these moments. But then the exciting thing is there's just a different buzz about the fighters that are now believing that they can get up there and take that belt, take that title. So he'll be there looking for another win. And again, he's a finisher. He's got a fantastic record of submitting people, knocking people out. And if he can get something done there, I'm sure he will be positioning himself and believing that he can work his way towards a moment to cement that legacy once more.
That would be something. Title fight, stadium later in Germany. Oh, can you imagine?
I can imagine, mate. I can. You squeezed one thing out of me. I ain't giving you anything else. Come on.
Brilliant, brilliant. You've already mentioned his name a couple of times, but we have to talk about the Neanderthaler Vosgröne. We thought we were going to get to see him compete a few months ago. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But another thing that Octagon does, as well as uh, finding replacements last minute for fights and making sure that the show does go on is one of my favorite things you guys do is go, yeah, we'll just double book a guy because
Yeah.
why not? Screw it.
He and
Balls to the wall.
I would love to say that was our idea, but he's the one that he literally came forward and was like, I want to
Put me.
fight twice. And again, he's risking it because the free to air is massive. Like he doesn't need to fight on
No,
this card. And I mean that physically and financially. Like he's changed his life with what's happened with that one fight with Yorick Montagnac. But
but he just wants
he
to fight.
reached out. He wants to fight, and also again, this is what happens. Certain venues and certain cities, people want to be in. People want to fight in the Festhalle. It's a very special venue,
Yeah,
and it's these bucket list things that we might not think of instantly, but fighters have in their mind. I'd love to walk out into that arena. I'd love to go to that city and fight. And Vosgröne is that guy who wants to fight in the Festhalle. He wanted the main event. He almost got it, but again. I think you can't take that away from Vital.
no.
Um, but he's stepping up and stepping in, and not against Again, you look at the guy that he's fighting. The guy hasn't fought for a while, but 7-1 is his record. Muay Thai specialist, always comes to fight, nothing to lose. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt himself, but I know there's levels in this. I'm not gonna compare them on the same level on the ground, but it's not a fight that you could say is not without its very high stakes of danger for Vosgröne. We saw in the last fight his striking is way off
Yeah,
some of the upper levels of that division. But when it comes to grappling and when it comes to someone committing to getting somebody to the mat, the big question is, can the Brazilian either catch him on the way in or
yeah,
can he keep him from taking him down? And that'll be the game. And everyone's waiting to see it. We saw
yeah,
that first fight. We saw that viral moment. We saw, something that we've never seen in Octagon before. We've made stars. We've built them, but you've always seen it being like a thing,
yeah,
a step by step. This was watching a rocket,
yeah.
an absolute rocket. This was the best moment because we were doing a content meeting. We do them every Monday. We do a content meeting, and I was sat and we were looking at the following. And on the Monday after the fight, he surpassed Andre Novotny's Instagram. And I'll tell you, Andre won that fight. He was like, what? WTF?
This
What
is
the
my
fuck?
show.
Yeah, whoa! I've been doing this for 6, 7 years. And he comes and does one fight, and by Monday morning, he's passed Andre Novotny, which we all enjoyed. Come on, you
Yes.
can't not
You can't
enjoy
not
that.
enjoy
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the,
yeah,
the boss
yeah,
man getting knocked down a peg. That's fantastic. But
yeah.
I can't think of anyone, across promotions, even across sports,
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 come on.
someone who's so young and inexperienced in their profession to turn off the back of one performance, one outing, just become this absolute overnight sensation. It's I've
Across
never
sports,
across
that's the
sports. It's
thing.
it's
Across
unbelievable.
sports, and it's international as well because we've been able to look at his because we want to understand it or try and understand it. Heavily in Germany, there was a lot of followings, but I would say maybe 40% is around the world. So a lot in England, Ireland, a lot in America, and then random countries, obviously, that would also pick it up. So this is not somebody that's just resonated with a fan base. This is somebody who's resonated with fans. And but the question will always be like, was that a one-off? Is that, I mean, there's and these viral moments, we've seen them happen with other things, but in sport it's very rare that somebody gets that sort of push. But this is the question, what's he going to look like in the cage? And also, what happens if he does get beat? What happens if he does get knocked out? What happens if he takes an injury or a bad cut that puts him off the Cologne card? Because he's gambling.
Yeah.
He is gambling. But what I will say about Frederick Vosgrone, he is betting on himself. Like his management are trying to, slow him down a little bit. But he was calling out Tom Breeze before he even got to Octagon. He's been calling out Will Flurry as soon as he's arrived, and he wants those fights. I'm telling you, it's not just
Yeah.
hot air from him. There's people looking after him, saying, "Let's just, one step at a time. Let's build this." But I reckon, if he had no manager and no one in his ear, he would take on anybody in Octagon, light heavyweight, middleweight, which is great because
Yeah.
sometimes you get these fighters that look. Well, he's unique, but look the part. That picture at the end of the fight where he's flexing his Hulk-like physique, um, but then they don't back it up.
Hmm.
They talk it, but they don't really mean it. And what I will give him credit for is, yeah, he doesn't want to say no to anybody. He really does want to go straight for the belt.
100%. I mean, that's just one of a number of great fights on this card, and any fight card with Dennis the Menace Frimpong on is always sure to be a good
Let's
time.
go.
He's
Let's go.
I don't think he's ever had a boring conversation in his life. I think he could pick a fight in an empty room. He's an unbelievable character, and he's really started to deliver inside the octagon cage as well. And you've seen the evolution of him as a fighter, as a professional, and he's got a very nice matchup against Peter Cabal, who's coming off this slobber knocker that he had with Elias Jacoby, which was an unbelievable comeback. He was dropped. He was basically out.
It was.
I don't think you could have had many arguments if the ref had stopped that fight, but he saw something there. He just survived by the skin of his teeth, and then turned it around and put it on. And talk about they're both strikers, but both very different styles of strikers. You've got Gabal, who wants to come forward, just violent, and then you've got Frimpong, who's more of a sniper, will fight at range on the outside, look for those counters, and the recipe of those two guys, one coming forward, one going back, picking his shots, is setting this fight up for a potential viral moment as well.
Yeah, it's great, and I love both of them, and they've both earned the amount of credit that they've been given for where they are in their career right now. Gabal had a rough start to his career, fought at featherweight, it just didn't suit him. Like lost fights, moved up to welterweight, and has looked fantastic. Won his last three. I think he's had one bare knuckle fight in there as well, or Muay Thai and small gloves, something like that, and won all of them and looked great. And the confidence is there, the belief is there. The team really look at him and think that he has a big potential to go far. And Frimpong the same. His performances against Robin Frank, then against Topalaya. This is where you stop just looking at the social media, stop just looking at the trash talk and
Yep.
what he was known for before. And he earned his way to where he got using that alongside his fights. But now you look at him, you look at the combination of his skills, the team around him, and then the freaky cardio he's got.
Yeah,
It
he
is
doesn't get
freaky.
tired.
He's massive for a lightweight, and he puts it on people. And he enjoys it. He wants that pace because he would. I mean, if you were to do one of those endurance runs and forget these two fighting, you put them side by side, you tell them to stay at the same pace and see who stops first. There's no way Frimpong is losing that. Like he has got this natural, and it's also where he works for it, but he's got something which just gives him the ability to grow in fights. His third round is as insanely fast as the first one. But the thing that's most impressive about that, he talks more in the third round. When you're out of breath, when
Yes.
you're out of breath, I walk up the stairs. I have to take 3 minutes before I speak to my wife. It's this, but Frimpong can. He can get in your mind and get in your head, but the performances, the last two in particular, have established him as a possible contender. I love this fight. I love it, and yeah, that's big things for whoever moves forward in this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Frimpong is definitely ranked in the top 10. I think he's what, 8 or 9 at the moment. And as we said before, belt's wide open, one or two more big performances, his profile, it's certainly
And he,
someone you'd like to build a title fight around.
but he's already lining up. It's just the other thing. He plays the game. He's on social media and he's had a great back and forth with Gabal. It's been fun. It's not been like sinister or dark. It's been both of them have been at each other. It's been great. And then he's already lined up that he wants Gokhan Aksu next. So you can start seeing like the little nips and the little responses from Aksu. And so he's lining up his sights for that.
Yeah.
And people ask, well, why is he getting fights? Why is he getting on Stuttgart and then getting on Frankfurt?
Just look
And
what
then
he's doing.
probably,
Copy it.
and yeah, then look at Munich. He's probably going to be on that card if he wins, and if he puts in a good performance, and if he calls for it on the mic, and he will call for it, and people will look at that, and some fighters go, oh well, why am I not getting fights? Look, he's
Yeah.
this guy is putting the performances in the cage, selling the fight,
Yeah.
even though he's not a ticket seller over there, and then calling his shot. It's the blueprint. It's that
Absolutely.
easy. It's
It's
not
the
easy
it's
to do, but it's
no,
that
but
easy to see how it
it's the,
works.
the textbook of how to become a star in MMA. Absolutely. Brian, we're getting close to running out of time, but there's a couple more fights that I think we really need to highlight before we get on out of here. And earlier this year, Tamerlan Dulatov made an incredible statement in his Octagon debut with that 12-second guillotine. Just phenomenal. But him and his brother, of course, in the UFC with a very nice debut performance over
I'm
over.
gonna
Oh,
I'm gonna save you some time because I was just checking if I was allowed to say this, but that fight's off.
oh no.
That fight has dropped off today, and again, it's one of these things where we hit Monday, and all of us had our fingers crossed for a smooth fight weekend. But I think Nadari has come out. I think we will look for a replacement from Dulatov, and again, the star power, him, his
Yeah,
brother's name, his brother, not the Dulatov name, and his
the
brother,
brothers.
as
Yeah.
far as the brothers bring. I'm sure we're going to try and find something for him, but just to let you know, I know we
Yeah.
got a little bit
Well,
of time left.
I
So.
did, Scott sent me a little graphic before, which is again, it's not been published, and his opponent now is TBA. So hopefully
Oh, there we go.
something gets done to find him an opponent. You know, business as usual for Octagon, finding
Business
a
as
last
usual, but
minute.
I just thought I'd give you a shout
Yeah.
before that. But
No,
again, if
no.
Dulatov on the card, that name resonates,
Huge.
so
They're
well. It's
absolutely
huge.
massive in
Yeah,
Germany.
yeah.
Their YouTube channel is like 150 plus thousand subscribers, hundreds of thousands of views on videos. I don't know if I know for sure Islam is. I'm not sure if Tamil is as well, but he's like a catwalk model as well. He's in the UFC. I mean,
Yeah,
just unique individuals who happen
yeah.
to be unbelievable fighters, and he'll be looking to build on that hype with another win if we can find him an opponent for Saturday. So
We'll
fingers
be
crossed.
we'll be working hard on that, I am sure. But that just dropped just before we started, so I just wanted to save you. There's another one for you, mate.
We're getting all the nuggets out of you, but
There
in
we
the
go.
next 5 minutes, I'm going to get that last piece of information out of you, rope a dope you. But someone else you mentioned her before. She's now a huge star, and she is nasty, Alina Delaslan, and yeah, she's taking on how do I pronounce this lady's name?
I'll help you
You
out.
please
Clara
do.
Ricci Ganulu.
Richie Ganulu. And
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, the last time just nasty, violent, looks to finish fights, two from two violent finishes on unbelievably massive cards. As you said, she's been doing TV, female self-defense, and another strong performance here. She's I think she's highly ranked already. I think she's ranked third at 135 pounds. She could really fast track herself for a shot at Svabova's title later on this year or early next year potentially if that's the way the matchmakers want to go.
yeah. It's and again for me, seeing how she handled the stadium on the second fight. That showed me she's she is ready for this. Seeing how she handled Rosa Gumina as well, who is legit as far as the stand-up accolades go, and dominated her there. Everything to play for here. She's taking on this Ricci Ganulu, and a little fun fact for you: Ganulu has the highest viewed fight in Octagon history. 7.8 million people watched. I think it was Octagon 12 or Octagon 3. And I
Wow.
don't know what it was. I don't know why, but it's got the most views. Somebody told me it's got something to do with I don't know, some bots or something like that have infected or whatever. But that's one of her accolades. And Richie Ganulu is 3-3, but all three wins are by knockout. Was supposed to fight Dakota Decheva. That fight came off due to injury. Now she's fighting, of course, Alina Delaslan. So don't underestimate Clara. And it's another test, but Delaslan has already said she wants a fast track to that belt. So we'll wait, we'll see. But just watch her walk out. Watch how much the German fans have embraced her because that is another stratospheric rise for a fighter that's only will be three fights into her career.
100%. And her position on the card, towards the top of the order reflects that. And I'm sure she's going to get an unbelievable reception. And I'll certainly be watching that one closely because, yeah, she's very exciting. She's very violent and she's nasty. I mean, obviously,
She's
as you
great,
said,
and she looks fantastic. I
looks
mean, and she's
fantastic. I mean, you said we got the blueprint for success in MMA on the male side of what Frimpongs do, and you go, yeah, if you could copy that, brilliant. On the female side, if you are good looking but you're nasty and violent
yeah,
inside the cage,
yeah,
you're going to be an absolute superstar.
totally. Dicheva, you look at her, you look at what the last one is doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joanna.
Joanna, there you go, there you go. List them, mate. But that's again, she's very special, very
Yeah,
unique, and it's not an easy test for her, but we'll see if she can get through it.
100%. Brian, really appreciate your time as always. If there's
I'm gonna,
one
I'm
one
gonna,
fight if we haven't spoken
yeah.
about. Give it
I
to
got
us. What
I've got
give
to give James Hendon a shout out.
yes.
James Hendon versus Aitan de Pape. Pape made his debut on the stadium on short notice, upper weight class. Oh no, he made it a bantamweight. I think it was a catchweight, but he is a bantamweight. Trains with Jonas Magard. Jonas told me he's one of his main sparring partners over there in Holland. Looked fantastic. I love his style. I love his boxing. But Hendon is great, and not a lot of people know this, but Hendon's last fight was the loss to Machaev, and we saw how good he was this weekend. In the first round and one of the takedowns, Hendon fractured his hip in that fight. I literally had to go home and recover from a broken hip or a fractured hip.
Oh,
And for him to take Machaev to a decision, to stuff a lot of those takedowns, to do as well as he did, I think this is one where people might underestimate him, but he is, for me, still one of the best prospects in Europe.
absolutely, absolutely. Brian, thank you as always for your time. You've been very generous with it. I'm certainly looking forward to this Saturday, Octagon 76, live from the Festhalle in
Let's
Frankfurt.
go.
Tune in. You can find it on octagon.tv in all of your countries where you want to find it. I would not miss this one. It's going to be great. And if you're in Germany from Cologne, tune into RTL as well because Octagon is yeah, it's here to stay in Germany. That's for sure, and
You need to
everywhere
be
else.
back at an event, mate. I say it every time.
I
We've got
know,
to
I
get you
know.
to
We're gonna
one.
make it.
Bratislava, come on.
We're gonna make something
Come
happen.
on.
Absolutely.
That's a stone's throw away. Yeah? Is that a
We'll.
commitment?
It's
Say it
a.
out loud.
It's a commitment to try and get it done. It's a commitment to try and get it done. Let me work on
Awesome.
something.
All right, brother. All right. Listen, great to speak to you again, and I'll see you soon. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it. Thanks.